Susie.
Good morning.
Welcome.
So much is happening across the world, and I'll help you break it down from Asia to what's happening in America. Of course, the elections with less than 2 months to go in America. Let's first of all begin with New York Times to see what is happening there. The first thing on their website when you go and click on it is Clinton. Take a look at this. Clinton says Trump has helped promote racist ideology.
Yes.
The thing is, she just made a speech, a 31-minute speech, and a part of that speech was hinting at Trump and his racist ideology, the history of his racism, breaking it down, as well as his personal and political issues as Donald Trump. So this whole thing, let me read for you something that is really popped out to me there. And I quote that Clinton, she said, "The paranoid fringe always exists in politics. It's never had the nominee of a major party stalking and encouraging it." Who is that stalking party? Donald Trump, encouraging racism. So, you know, it's ahead of elections. Clinton is pulling out her big cards and hinting at Donald Trump. He's very easy to mock when it comes to racism. He puts it on his platform. Exactly.
It's an easy card.
And
both of them trying to get the undecided bits, you know, the minorities.
Exactly. Because also on top of that, Donald Trump came out and said, no, I'm not the one who is racist. It's Clinton. But away from that, take a look at also this one. That was just there on your side. Investors next door, investors next door and settle Black Enclave. With this specific story right here, it's in regards to what is happening in America within their home beaches, to be more specific, within the Hamptons. Now, this area within the Hamptons was occupied by African Americans after the World War II. So you find majority of the people living there are African Americans, but they're new neighbors. I know not so many people like neighbors. Even when you hear you have a new neighbor, it kind of gets fringy. But the new neighbors...
I like my space.
You like your space, right? And you want to know who is staying next door. But these new neighbors, these new buyers don't talk much, and they are known as the 45 Hillside, or also known as the 81 Harvest Holdings. Now, the problem with these new neighbors is that they're white dominated. This is a land that
traditionally
black dominated neighborhood. Then comes the white people who have come in and they've bought the land. You know what happens? Land scales up, rent soars. So it has become a problem for the African Americans who are living there. Because you want to remember, as I told you, this is where they settled back in after World War II. And back then the roads were poor, the housing was poor. It was an affordable place for them. But now with the new neighbors, things are becoming expensive.
They're not just becoming bad neighbors, they're almost pushing them out.
There you go.
If the rents are going up.
There you go. So that is on New York Times. You can definitely get more details on that. Let's see what is next. Let's go to Washington Post. Washington Post, we also have Clinton, a very big major story right there for them. But let me direct you to something else different. A study was done by one of the local universities in America. And one of the realities that came out of that is that Clinton is up by 10 points from the survey that they carried by the local universities. But don't get too happy, Clinton fans, because that's not the end. That's not the final aftermath. That doesn't say she might win elections, but that is what is happening. So the university carried out a local survey that was done. Most participants preferred Hillary Clinton. And just to give you a bit of the statistics, there are numbers. The last time the survey was carried out, Clinton was just leading with 42. Now that number is at 51. All right.
So 9 points up.
9 points up. And if you go and you read that article, deep down at the page, you will see they even break down to you the favorability by month, according to the survey they've done.
And
so
I
you
remember
can tell.
Trix was here yesterday and talked about a different study that was done, saying that really all these polls can show your popularity at this high, but not necessarily going to see that on the ballot paper.
And we've seen even with our own elections here in Kenya, social media surveys never necessarily say you're going to be the president.
So just be cautiously optimistic.
Definitely. But still, also on the Washington Post, away from politics, President Obama is making also new remarks over there. And it's in regards to him opening, or rather expanding, the National Marine in Haiti. So what is happening? This is a 500,000 square miles. It's right here. If we could just go down. There you go. Obama to create the largest protected marine area on the planet. I mean, this is a good way for him as he's leaving the office. But then, even when he was in Kenya, we saw climate and conservation is something really close to Obama's heart. So this is something that he's expanding on. This 500,000 square land of miles of land and sea is he's expanding on that. And it's great to see that he also has an eye not only for the politics, but for nature. Yeah, that's a good read away from the politics.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what is next. We should be going to Guardian UK, where, of course, our top story is the issue of health right here. The NH plans to radical cuts on the fight of the growing deficit budget in UK. But away from that, also just down, it's talking also about Italy. We saw the earthquake that was that hit the country just earlier this week, and we've also carried the story this morning. But the thing is, the most positive thing about this, as they're continuing to do rescue searches, is that people from across Europe and Spain have come and joined the rescue team. So you have about 5,400 people who have come in to join to help do that.
That is really phenomenal.
It
that
is.
They take it up on
community work.
Just not leaving it to the authorities.
Exactly. Not just a firefighters thing.
Fantastic.
Everyone from around, the people
from across even Italy.
There you go. Really. And across Europe. So you read the story and you find these remarkable people who have traveled for 12 hours from Spain just to come and help with this situation. About 80% of the buildings were lost.
Humanity is all about.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you have 80% of the building lost, that's a lot of rescue work that needs to be done. We just can't leave it to our professional firefighters. So you have both Italians and people within Europe saying, hey, we're coming over to give you a helping hand. All right.
That's really phenomenal.
It's fantastic.
At the core of
all right. Despite the fact that the death toll is around 250 to 41, it's
and the aftershocks are making even the search and rescue mission hard, because we have those 5,000 rescuers, but just that spirit that they're there to help.
That teamwork makes it a bit better. Yeah. All right. Here on Mail Online, this is an interesting article right here. We can't live on £50,000. The middle class family with an inviable household income explain why they are broke and are forced to borrow from family, buy supermarket clothes and holiday in the UK. This is a timely article. Why? Brexit. When Brexit was happening, we knew it had both political, social and economic problems that will come with it. And the thing is that they've taken, like you've seen, families. What better way to tell the issue of the economy within UK?
The repercussions of that Brexit.
Exactly. So that will be a great article for viewers to also read on to get to understand more.
£50,000.
That's quite.
And
we know UK is also the economy there. Living standards are pretty high. All right. Away from Mail UK or the Mail Online, let's go to China Daily. Now, China Daily, there are two amazing articles there that caught my attention. First of all, on this normally changes. And one of the things there is that Ukraine is celebrating the Independence Day. Prince William as well as Kate Middleton are also visiting, are visiting a charity organization. So some of those are the stories that are moving on their website. But also, just right here down to your side, the issue of Mozambique. And Mozambique is celebrating its 9th cultural festival. You might be wondering, what is so special about this 9th cultural festival? We also have cultural festivals here, and it's on China, and it's on China daily. But the thing is, you might be wondering why. So it's the 9th festival. It's happening in Mozambique's second largest capital city. But the whole point of this one, it's because it's supposed to encourage peace. What is happening within the government is that we have government forces as well as rebel forces. And you know who are the middle people suffering here? The civilians. So both of them are, not on the same page on a few issues. Civilians are the ones who are hurting the most. So this 9th annual celebration festival is there to encourage peace. We have over 900 participants from across the country in Mozambique. That is a great article for also our viewers to get on.
It is.
Yeah. Now also on top of that, a bit of economics, or shall I say a bit of finance. Right here, we have Japan Prime Minister Shinzo, who was in Rio 2016, did an amazing ceremony in a very cool Super Mario outfit, then flew to China, where he met under the Foreign Minister Wang to discuss economic talks. What is happening is that in Guangzhou, they'll be hosting the G20 summit. That whole point is for both political as well as social, but majority economic talks will be happening. And China is saying, hey, Japan,